In
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, March 31st. The seasonal focus is buds unfold to early flowers. And I happen to have some gorgeous tulips in my room proving this point. The morning focus is the angel of life. And the opening says, meditate while touching a living plant, tree, bush, or pet. Exchange love with this being. And here's the meditation. My life is guided onward toward the light. All about me are signs of growth, the signs of new life bursting from containment. I too feel this primal urge to cast off limitations and open my petals to the sun. No longer must I wait. I share my life with those I love. Today I will bring the spirit of freedom to my adventures in Paris. I'm going to be traipsing around Paris by myself today. My traveling companion is not feeling well, so I'm going to fart around in Paris today by myself. I'm very, very excited. I have tickets to go to the l'Orangerie, where they have this gorgeous Monet exhibit, and I'm going to go to the shops along the Tuileries near the Louvre, and I'm just going to find a place to eat in Paris. And my feelings are excitement, titillation, fun, happy, rested, all that goodness. Okay, today we are on lesson 90, and it is a review of lessons 79 and 80. And Linda, if you would be kind enough to read us those lessons.
Sure. Lesson 79. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Lesson 80. Let me recognize my problems have been solved.
Beautiful. Thank you. And here are Magdalene's gorgeous words. Lesson 90. Greetings, beloved ones. It is always a delight to be with you in communication. We understand that through this modality, you are able to hear our words of love. You are able to listen to the lessons my beloved has brought forth. Understand, beloveds, that every time that you come upon a problem, you have held a grievance against a situation, against a person, or against yourself. Herein lies the problem. But understand, beloveds, that the undoing of a grievance, the undoing of a problem, takes merely a moment of forgiveness. For forgiveness shines light upon what is not true, grants love, and grants beingness that is indeed divine. So when you look over your life in the myriad of circumstances and situations that seem to cause you pain, that seem to cause you anxiety, that seem to cause you anything other than perfect peace, understand that you have mistakenly perceived something to cause you grief. And the beauty of the miracle, beloveds, is that as soon as you apply the salve of forgiveness to each and every circumstance, you are immediately granted the divine and holy light that purifies and cleanses your mind. You are immediately aligned with the Holy Spirit, if you will. If you will but grant yourself access, if you will but turn within and say, I must have decided wrongly because I am not at peace. I will to be at peace. This beautiful prayer was written in the text. For understand, beloveds, each thought, each action, and word that you speak, you are granting your God-given will to every circumstance. You have willed the grievances in your lives, and you have willed the pain in your existence. This is a very high-level conversation that will require of you to take full and whole responsibility for every circumstance that is created in your life. This is a conversation that is indeed difficult for many, for it has been easier to have been inculcated in this society that has said, this person did this to me. This circumstance should not be, and to find grievances everywhere that you look. People speak in the language of them. They talk about their troubles. They talk about their problems. They blame others for their circumstances. But beloveds, for you to be able to effect a change, for you to be able to align yourself with the mind and the will and the heart of God, you must ask for assistance of the heavenly realm. You must be willing to say, of myself, I feel as if I can do nothing. But truly, beloveds, the one thing that you can do is make the choice for love. Reach out, reach within, reach up, wherever you feel a connection to the Holy Spirit, and ask for assistance, ask for guidance. Ask to be realigned with the mind, the will, and the heart of God. And here you shall, indeed, find your freedom. You shall recognize yourself in another. You shall look upon the eyes. You shall look upon the one who has pained you the most and say, I see you through the eyes of your innocence. When you allow yourself, when you grant yourself your own innocence, beloved ones, when you are able to forgive yourself for the seeming misperception, there is a freedom, there is a celebration that ensues. For you have given to yourself love, and therefore you can grant that to another. You can grant them forgiveness. You can grant yourself forgiveness. For when innocence prevails and innocence is seen within, and when innocence is seen without, you are freed from forgiveness and the need to perpetuate grievances. You come to a place where you realize that forgiveness was never necessary, for there was never any harm that was done. The harm that was done was in the thinking that things and circumstances should be other than the way that they are. And everything that has occurred to you, beloveds, you have chosen, you have manifested, and you have generated through the use of your own will, through the use of your own mind. See, every being is granted the mind of God, and when thoughts go by unchecked, when there are beliefs that have been granted, commandments, precepts, misunderstandings, when they have been taken as law, you find yourself in a bit of a mess. So slow down enough, beloved ones, to examine the thoughts that go by, the thoughts that have been planted deeply within, the thoughts that have been chosen. It may seem like a painstaking process, beloved ones, but truly the freedom that is available is profound. When you come to realize that the complaints that you have uttered, that every word that you speak, are crafting and molding your reality, allow yourselves, dear ones, to think a different thought. Allow yourselves, beloved ones, to look upon your own reflection in a new way. Allow yourself a day of opposites. If you find that you always sit to the right, sit to the left. If you find that you always walk forward, walk backwards. If you find that you always sleep on one side of your bed, sleep on the other. If you find that you always eat with your right hand, eat with your left. Allow your brain to begin to be rewired, beloveds. Allow your mind to begin to think and to create new neural pathways rather than the habitual thinking that you have always had, the rules that you have always have. All men are this way, all women are that way. Everyone of this religion, every one of this race is this way, is that way. Understand that there are prejudices, beloveds. You have prejudged another, and in that judgment lies the shadow, and in that judgment lies the grievances, and in that judgment lies the darkness, beloveds. So today, allow yourself, if you can, to investigate, what have I judged? What have I already condemned? What have I already assigned blame? How have I already assigned blame? And there you will find your freedom. Look within, beloved ones, and see if there is not an aspect of you that you see in another, that you criticize and that you condemn and that you judge. Can you allow yourselves, dear ones, to look within and see the beauty that you are? And then look and see the beauty that another is. One that you have judged harshly, one that you feel has wronged you. Allow yourself the grace, beloved ones, of recognizing the holiness that you are, the holiness that those who you perceive to be outside of you are as well. Then there is a miracle that occurs, and all of the sense of separation and all of the judgment falls to the wayside, and you are left with the beauty and the purity that you are. So allow this to come to you, beloved ones. It is indeed a choice that you make at each and every moment. You have always our blessings and our love. We are here to support you on your journeys. Call upon us, and we will, in an instant, bring you back to the realization that you are the very essence of God's love and holiness. So allow your problems to fade today, beloveds, through the acts of kindness and forgiveness. Allow your day to be filled with the beauty and the love and the recognition that you are indeed as God created you. We love you, and we will speak with you again. I don't know about you, but I think she's pretty freaking magnificent. She always says, in the most timely fashion, exactly what I needed to hear. I don't know how that happens. Like it's a miracle or something. A course in miracles, no less. All right, here she comes. I can feel her. I can feel her. Here we go. Beloved ones, understand that the truest essence of what it is to channel or to be channeled is a dance. It is a surrendering. It is an allowing. It is a letting. You are letting go, beloveds, of the ego's mind and the ego's will that says it must happen according to what I want and what I believe. Beloveds, all of us, all of us are intimately and intricately woven to one another. We are divinely connected to Source itself. And the egoic aspect was meant to always be a helper. It was always meant to be an assistance. And somehow it has become the captor. We have allowed the mind to be the master rather than the servant. See if you can allow yourself today, beloveds, to take the utmost sense of responsibility for all that you and your egoic mind have willed into manifestation, have willed into creation. But, beloveds, we ask one thing of you. We ask that you do this with the tenderness of your hearts. Do not allow yourselves to beat yourself up, to feel that you must prostrate yourself, to fall upon the ground and cry and moan and grieve for all that you have done, that you feel you must be punished for. There is nothing that you must be punished for, beloveds. There is only a sense of taking ultimate responsibility and allowing yourselves to remember that you are beauty and grace and joy and tenderness and purity incarnate. The body that you have is a manifestation of divinity. Can you allow yourself to love every aspect of your bodies? Can you love your hair and your nails, the size of your breasts, the size of your hips, your fingers, your toes, the size of your bellies, the size of your bottoms, the size of your sexual organs, both internal and external, beloveds? What you have done with any part of your body, any part of your body that you have had removed, understand that it is all in divine alignment with how it is that you wanted to create and experience what it is to be a human being. And there is not even anything to forgive, beloveds, but rather an allowing and a receiving. Here is one mission that we have for you today, beloveds. Understand that God is in, as, and through you. We ask you to find that connection. We ask you to come to that still point. We ask you to look at your feet and say, feet, I love you. To look at your hands and say, hands, I love you. To come upon a total stranger and say, total stranger, I love you. For understand, truth is there are no strangers, beloveds. You have manifested everything. You are connected to everything that you have in your life, for it is manifested through the mind of God and the will of God that is you. You have manifested one another. Look at this beautiful gathering of beloved friends, sisters of the heart, sisters of the soul, sisters of divinity, brothers. You have all been friends forever. You have woven through each other's lives like the leaves upon a tree. You know each other intimately, beloveds. So we ask you to join in love today and in ultimate responsibility and say, I and I alone have done this. I have done this to myself. I have done this. This is my manifestation. And celebrate all that you have created. If there has been illness, beloved, understand that this is something that you yourself have chosen. Celebrate it. Look at what I have done. Look at what I have made. You are magnificent. Love you more than you could possibly imagine. And we will that you remember and allow us into your hearts to remind you of your majesty. We thank you, beloved ones, for this precious moment of your attention to be with us and to connect with us so deeply. Until we speak again, greetings and salutations, precious and beloved beings. It feels like being underwater and crashing back up through the waves at the end of the channeling. Thank you all so much for being here. I wish you the most gorgeous day. I love you, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a good day.